talking Illinois high school football.
If your goals are as high as you talk about, tonight's the night you go out and just take one more step.
It's a view from the West.
And it starts right now!
Welcome into a bonus episode of View from the West podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Greg Armstrong, joined as always by Mitch Stormer. Mitch, this bonus episode, our IHSA State Championship UniView preview. So give the listeners or the watchers, if you're watching along on YouTube, give them a sense of what they're in store for here.
Yeah, well, we thought it'd be fun as we like uniforms. We like looking at uniforms. We like talking about uniforms. We thought it would only be fitting to apply that to the IHSA State Championships this weekend. And to give it a little bit of a twist, we'll go through all 8 matchups. We'll show the uniforms. We have a pretty good idea of what they're going to be wearing. And then we're going to scientifically determine who's going to win based on who looks best. And that's all the information that went into this. I have no idea which teams are better than the other, but we're certainly going to know who looks better. And that's all we're going to go off of. So this will be fun.
There's a lot of great analysis that happens around the state, but Mitch, I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're the only ones. We are your definitive source for the uniform previews for the IHSA State Championship football game.
This is exclusive. There's no doubt about it.
So Mitch, we got 8 games, 16 teams to talk about, and me and you are each going to determine who we think wins based on looks alone. And before we get into it, if anybody's listening, I encourage you to pause if you have the chance. Go to YouTube. Uniforms are a very visual thing. Go to YouTube, search View from the West podcast. You'll find this episode. You'll find the visuals. When we're talking about the uniforms, we'll put them up here on the screen. That's the best way to watch, to listen, to take in this podcast, this webcast, you might call it. Let's jump right in. We're starting in Class 1A, Lena Winslow and Carrollton. Mitch, give me the vital stats. Give me the rundown on these uniforms.
Yeah, well, let me start by saying, because this will be true for all 8 games. And thanks to Kyle with NUIC Football for letting us know that how the state or how they determine who is the home game now that it's in DeKalb, they changed the rules a little bit. It used to go by seeding. That got a little bit convoluted if you had, 1 seed playing a 1 seed. Now that it's in DeKalb, they've made it that the representative from the north is the home team and the representative from the south is the away team. So we're able to kind of imagine, at least we can guess what they're going to be wearing. So the images that you'll see and what we're going to talk about should be what they're wearing, bearing some surprises maybe. I hope. I would love to see it. So hopefully we have this down. But starting here in 1A, two good uniforms here, Greg. Lena, a team that we talked about a lot. They've got a classic black, gold, and white color scheme. Their helmet, starting off there, black helmet. It's got the Wildcat logo that you've seen on a lot of teams. Kansas State is probably the most familiar use of that logo. They've got pride stickers, so it is a black helmet covered with stickers throughout. They're pretty. I don't want to say that they're basic because they're nice uniforms, but they don't try and do too much. They go all black at home. They go all white on the road. I don't know that I've ever seen them go with a black top and white pant, or a white pant and a black or a white top and a black pant on the road. So I don't think they ever deviate from that, which is fine because it's a classic look. They look like a team. The uniforms give the impression of a team that is either going to run around you or run through you. And oddly enough, that's what Lena Winslow can do on both ways. So my only gripe on this uniform, and that I've said it in the past, is that their numbers don't have a fill color. It's only the outline. So it can be hard to see, especially on the white uniforms. Won't have to worry about that in this game. They'll be wearing all black. But that's my only gripe on this. I think it's a really nice look. And they've played up to par with the uniforms as they're going for their 5th title here.
Yeah. So Mitch, they've worn black in every one of their state appearances, correct? Is that what we know?
Yeah, so this will be their 5th appearance. They've been the home representative, as we said, either because they came from the north playing in DeKalb or they were the higher seed whenever the games were in Champaign. So Yeah, an odd quirk here, but whatever works. Don't no need to change it. So they're going to be like this on Friday night or Friday
All right.
morning. I should.
Friday morning. Yep, there you go. So there is what Lena Winslow has. Mitch, give us the rundown on Carrollton, the Carrollton Hawks.
Yeah, I hate picking against Lena in any fashion.
Oh, you're already giving away a potential pick here.
Yeah, well, and picking them in any fashion, that's a pun. Carrollton has a green, black, and white color scheme. I love that with football teams. They've got a green helmet. Keep it pretty simple. Green helmet with a white C logo. They also have pride stickers, so you see those covering up that lid. Typically, they wear green tops, black pants at home. They wear a white jersey and black pants away. I also saw that they have a black alternate top that they've worn in the past. I saw old pictures, Greg. They used to have all gray sets, so they've played around throughout the years. I think they really found their stride here with this Under Armour set that they wear. So they will be the away team. So I'm assuming they'll be white jersey, black pant, and obviously that green helmet. But this is a really, really nice look.
All right, so Mitch, there we have it. There's Lena Winslow and Carrollton. I'll let you go first in Class 1A, okay, and then we'll alternate back and forth. Where's your head at here when you see this uniform matchup?
Okay, I'm gonna break the rule right off the bat, and I promise I won't do this again. I'm taking Lena to win the game, but I really like Carrollton's look. I really do enjoy that. They change it up just a little bit more than Lena does. Have a little bit more options to play with. I'm a sucker for that color scheme and the way that they do it with the striping. They have it pretty consistent. Nice helmet, nice clean helmet. So while I don't think the game is going to go this way, I do like the look of the Carrollton Hawks.
All right. Well, I'm going the way I think the game is going to go. I'm going Lena Winslow. Yeah. Especially I love that they are the black. I love they're wearing all black in the state championship game. I think that's their definitive look. And Mitch, I was thinking about it earlier. Don't you think that Lena Winslow wearing the all black is almost like that Raiders intimidation factor, like the black uniforms? I know the Raiders don't do all black, but it's always been historically the Raiders are that black look, and that's that face of fear, that's what I like about Lena's look, is that it's not just a black set, but it's top to bottom black. The numbers are black with the outline. Yeah. I'm always a fan of the black and gold type of look. I think they do it really well. The helmet stickers on top of the logo is not colored in. It's just an outline with the black, Wildcat head, or I guess Panther head in their case. But I'm going Lena Winslow here. I love that look.
Yeah, this is the hardest one of all the 8. And again, I hate to pick against Lena, but I just think Carrollton just has a little bit more options when it comes to aesthetics. So I'll side there for this case.
All right. So Mitch, are we moving into Class 2A?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. This is Wilmington and Nashville. So the Wilmington Wildcats and the Nashville Hornets. Let's start with Wilmington. Give me the rundown here. What do they got?
Yeah, so they'll be the home team. They're the top seed here in 2A. Pretty simple. A purple and white color scheme primarily. They've got black as an alternative color, but they have a white helmet with a purple, a tiger paw. Clemson is the most, recognizable usage of the logo. But they also use pride stickers. So, which we're going to see a lot of that here as we talk about this. I'm a fan of that, of high school teams using pride stickers, because you don't see it much as you move up the ranks in college, and certainly not in the NFL. So I'm a fan of that. It looks good when they're all, covered up. They've got options. They can go all purple. They can go all white or white on purple when they're on the road. I've seen them go purple on white when they're home too. So again, this is one of those where they do have a couple options. Not sure which way they're going to go. They do have a black alternate jersey too, which looks nice. So really looking forward to seeing what Wilmington will wear on Friday.
All right, Mitch, the red, white, and blue of the Nashville Hornets. Let's run down what their uniforms look like.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm taking them in this matchup just yet because I haven't decided, but one of my favorites just one of my favorite sets, I guess I'll say, of the 16 teams that we're going to talk about. So red, white, and blue, classic. They've got a white helmet with just a blue letter N on it. Blue stripe with red outline going down the middle. They do have pride stickers as well. I think they're crossbones. It's an Under Armour set. Has Nashville across the chest, Hornets going down the pant leg, which I'm not huge on the pant leg. You know, I don't like that. I think that might be only on their blue pants, though. I don't think their white pants do that.
I'm not seeing it on their white. Nope.
I think they have like a hip logo on their white pants. So they will be the away team in this one. When they're at home, they go all blue, which looks nice. They typically go all white on the road, but they can wear a blue pant. They also, Greg, have an alternate red pant, which they wore with their blue tops during the game this year. It was a really cool design. I really like how clean it is for an Under Armour set. So again, they're probably going to go. Obviously, they're going to go white jersey being on the road. I would imagine they'll go white pant. Just that's what they did in 2019 against Newman. So I would imagine that they'll do that again.
All right. So Wilmington and Nashville in Class 2A. I'm up first, making my pick here. This was a tough one, and you said you haven't even necessarily decided yet.
Yeah.
So this was tough. I think I'm leaning. I kind of surprised myself, and I'm going Nashville on this one. I normally am not crazy about the red, white, and blue color scheme, but I think they do it pretty well. And they have the option for the like Hornet, which is almost like the Georgia Tech style Hornet, but they don't put that on the helmet, and they keep it very simple, very clean looking with just a block N. It's nothing fancy, but it is kind of like a metallic blue that's in there. So it kind of pops a little bit on the white helmet. And with the white face mask, I think it just looks really good. Overall, they'll be wearing white in this state championship game. And I think I can't really go wrong if they're wearing all white. I like that look. But man, if they break out the blue or the red pants, surprisingly, like I'd be fine with any of it. I think it would look good. So that kind of set me over the edge with Nashville.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to guess that they have someone who's making these decisions that knows what they're doing. Because I remember Nashville being, if you remember over, I think it was last summer when they did that Illinois, like best basketball court tournament online.
Yep.
They were a representative. I think they might've made it kind of far. They have a really cool basketball gym.
Yes.
So somebody there knows what looks good. So yeah, I'm with you here, Greg. I like Nashville in this matchup because I like the way that their colors kind of pop. And yeah, no matter what they have on Friday afternoon or Friday late morning, I should say, they're going to look good. So no offense to Wilmington, but Nashville's going to win this game based on who they or how they look.
One quick question, getting back to Wilmington.
Yeah.
Mitch, what are your thoughts on having the helmet be a decal of the Clemson Tiger Paw, like you said, like you pointed out, but then on their chest logo is like a Wisconsin W. So there's two different logos. That was something that stuck out to me as I don't like that. I don't like having two logos in two different places, two different logos in two different places. It stuck out to me. What are your thoughts? Just curious.
Yeah. It seems a little bit too copycatty, a little bit. Like you said, it's exactly that kind of arched a W. And you were kind of advocating when we were talking privately, maybe for, using at least with Nashville, using that Hornet logo, maybe.
Yeah.
So, each team can utilize maybe a logo and a letter. But yeah, when it comes to Wilmington specifically, I do like that look with a Wildcat nickname, having the Wildcat paw. I think it kind of resonates a little better. It doesn't look bad on the uniform. Like you said, it kind of sticks out a little bit. But overall, I think they're doing fine.
All right. Well, we both took Nashville on that one. Let's move into Class 3A, the Byron Tigers versus the Tolono Unity Rockets. This one to me is kind of a clash in styles a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's start with Byron. Start up top. Yeah. Start with Byron.
Okay. So Byron being perennial. This is their third straight 3A championship game. So they're, they're playing certainly well. I think they can update their uniforms just a little bit. So orange, black, and white color scheme. Again, a pretty similar helmet that we just talked about, except it's orange. It's got a black tiger paw outlined in white stripe down the middle with black piping. Now, when they're home, they have options. They can go orange top, white pant. They can go all orange. They can go all black. They can do a combination of all three sets. They will be the home team here, so I'll be interested to see what they'll bring out. I want to say in their home games this playoffs, they went orange on white at home. But as you can see in the picture, the piping is a little outdated. I don't remember what year you kind of referenced when we were talking about it earlier. Does seem like they've probably had this uniform a little while, so I'd be looking forward to them getting a modernized look here. The black uniform looks better, or at least they get away with it a little bit easier. So yeah, it's fine. It's not like it's a bad look. It just needs to be updated.
Mitch, you know what stuck out to me after we texted? The Byron, the white uniform specifically with the orange trim. Do you remember? Do you remember when you could create your own team in NCAA football? That was
like
an
generic
exact
team 3 or something. Yeah,
but that was an exact uniform set, like that exact trim and that exact like piping on the shoulders, and it just kind of puts you in that time frame. It's a little early to mid 2000s maybe, but I like then they have the orange pants, which are very solid striping, like much more like 90s or like 80s style piping on those. But I think that I really hope they give us some kind of black or orange look, being that they're the home team. That is what looks best for Byron.
If I had to guess, I think probably their orange uniforms and their black, at least the tops, the orange tops and the black tops are probably newer than the white ones. At least it looks like that in pictures. So I don't know. But like we said, overall, good look, just needs to be modernized a little bit.
All right. Well, Mitch, let's go to Tolono Unity. And this is different style than that old school style that Byron's rocking out there.
Yeah, this is a unique one for sure. So Tolono is maroon, gray, and white, as you'll see on the screen. Helmet is a gray helmet. It's got a maroon U that almost looks like an Indianapolis Colts like horseshoe, like it's that big almost, but it's just the letter and a rocket script going across it. A maroon stripe with white piping down the middle. So it's a fine helmet. Jersey has Unity across the chest. And then it gets crazy because they can go maroon on maroon, they can go gray on gray, they can go maroon on gray, they can go maroon on white, they can go gray on white, they can go white on white. The options are plentiful for Tolono. So I like that. I like that they have options. Probably my favorite one that they have is the gray on gray. Unfortunately, they will be the away team in this one, so I don't quite know which direction that they'll go. Obviously, playing a team like Byron, you could do a color versus a color, which would be fine. Sure, why not? So maybe we'll see those gray uniforms on Friday. But they've got options. I'll give them that.
So Mitch, they also do what it's kind of something I don't love. Logo on one side of the helmet, blank on the other.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that in a photo. I don't love that.
Would you rather be blank or with a number?
That's a great question, because I would have always said neither. Now I've come around to
a battle of two evils. Yeah.
I've seen more schools do the numbers, and I think it can be done the right way. I will give them a little bit of a pass on if the logo is big enough on the one side of the helmet.
Yeah,
I can see not having it on the other side because it would just be too much. So I'll give them a little bit of a pass there because it's a pretty big logo, and I like the logo overall. So that was something I had noted, though, that it's usually one of my no-goes. But Mitch, you're up in this one in Class 3A. Who is your UniView state pick?
I'm gonna decide this on the fly.
Yeah, man, you decided 2A on the fly as well. So
yeah. Yeah, for as much work as I went into this, I didn't even think about picking it. If Byron was the away team, I would pick Tolono. But because they're the home team, I like their home sets better. Going Byron here. No matter if they wear orange or black, going Byron here.
All right, we disagree again. I'm going
Okay.
Tolono Unity. I'm going
Okay.
Tolono Unity here. I think that we've discussed it before. You've probably noted over the time we've done this podcast, I'm kind of a sucker for a team that can utilize gray in an effective, if they can utilize it in an effective way.
Yeah.
And Tolono Unity, one of their colors is gray. So in their uniform scheme, it fits in naturally, very similar to like Monmouth Roseville. They're able to utilize it very naturally, whereas gray became a trend, but they're able to do it because it's one of their school colors. I like the unique logo, which I had referenced, even though it's only on one side of the helmet. I like the unique logo, and I also like that it's a gray helmet, but it's a white face mask. So I think it really pops. I like that. And with the face mask matching the white helmet or matching the white pants. And they do what we just talked about. They do it a little different than what we talked about with Wilmington. Instead of having a logo on the chest, they spell out Unity, but then they put a logo on the pants and a logo on the helmet. And I think it just all works together well.
Yeah, as I said, if Tolono was the home team, I would probably go there. Because I don't know which picture we're going to use exactly, but there's a picture where they have gray on white. With the gray lit. I really like that look in particular for them. But since they're on the way, I'm going Byron.
Yeah. All right. Hey, that's fair enough.
That's part of the equation here. You know, I can't like a uniform they're not going to wear, so I'm going Byron.
So Mitch, moving into Class 4A, this one's interesting in the fact that it's two perennial power programs. They're both Catholic schools that are very traditional in their look, but different, right? Like they're traditional looks, but they're different. That being Sacred Heart Griffin and Joliet Catholic. Mitch, let's start with the Cyclones from SHG. Give me the rundown on them.
Yeah, so two of, as we mentioned in the preview podcast, you know, if there were pillars of IHSA football, both of these teams would be there. And so you're talking about cream of the crop, and their uniforms are pretty simple, you know, for the most part. So we'll start with Sacred Heart. They'll be away here. Black, gold, and white. A little note here, Greg, that you came up with. The Griffin High School back in the day, it was all boys school. Their colors were purple and gold. Sacred Heart was the all girls school. They were blue and gold. When they merged in '88, they kind of put it all together, and black and gold was decided on. So nice little nugget there that you dug up.
Yeah, I was looking because I was curious to how they got to that color scheme, and I knew I had heard in years past that Sacred Heart Griffin, in the grand scheme of things, hasn't been around that long as SHG. I knew that at some point in at least our lifetime, which is getting more and more, it was getting older by the day, but I knew it was, you know, somewhat modern times. So I wanted to know how they came up with the color scheme. And that kind of makes sense that both teams were gold initially, and now they merged to, you know, they kept the gold color and added black.
Yeah. And they've had this look as long as I can remember them. And same thing with Joliet Catholic, we'll get to in a minute. So they've updated it recently. They still have an all gold helmet, no logo, no decal, nothing. Gold helmet, black face mask. They do have an Under Armour set. That's how they've, you know, modernized it a little bit. But again, they're simple. Black on gold at home, white on gold on the road. That's it. On their home, black uniforms, Cyclones across the chest. On the road, whites. They just shortened it to SHG. So I imagine that is what they will be wearing, is those white uniforms with gold pants and a gold helmet. So be a classic look. I would never, you know, not think it was SHG, just because they've looked that way maybe since '88, and they've just modernized it just a little bit.
Yep. Well, speaking of a look that hasn't changed very much over the years, Mitch, we see Joliet Catholic a lot in the state championship games. We've discussed how many times they've been there in our other podcast, but they don't change very much. For as much as they're there, they look pretty much the same year in and year out. Give me the rundown on the Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers.
Yeah, a color scheme you don't see a lot of anymore. Brown and white. That's it. It's brown and white. Now, Greg, I'm gonna flip this to you because I asked you about this, and you're the one who came up with the answer. Describe their helmet for us.
So, Joliet Catholic has always had the brown helmet, and they have a silhouette of a building or
Yep.
of a pillar on their helmet. That is the Victory Light Tower. So that's a logo of the Victory Light Tower. It's iconic. If you've seen Joliet Catholic, you know kind of what I'm referencing. The Victory Light Tower sits on top of the old Joliet Catholic High School building, which they've now recreated on the campus of the Joliet Catholic Academy. So the Victory Light honors all current and former Angels and Hilltoppers. The Hilltoppers are the boys teams, and the Angels are the girls teams.
Okay.
Another interesting note, Mitch,
Please.
that Joliet Catholic, when Joliet Catholic Academy came into place, the Angels and the Hilltoppers kept their respective nicknames. Springfield Griffin and Sacred Heart Academy both did the same thing as well. So the Cyclones and the Blazers for the girls kept their individual mascots when they merged into one Catholic academy in each of their cities. So very similar trend that followed. Just a little interesting note that I found.
That is the research that people are listening to this podcast for. Those nuggets of information. So well done by you.
And I got to give a shout out to the website IllinoisHSGloryDays.com. That's the website. Mitch, if you've never been there, oh my gosh, you'll get lost on that website.
Yeah.
A guy by the name of Dave Naningay runs it. I actually heard him interviewed by Jim Taylor at WRMJ, and I've been familiar with the site for maybe 10 plus years now, but it's a site dedicated to high schools in Illinois that have closed down or merged and kind of their history before they closed. So fascinating stuff. I got to give a shout out there.
Sounds like a great off-season podcast to me, Greg.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. Okay, Mitch, let's get back into the Joliet Catholic Hilltoppers with the Victory Light Tower on their helmet.
Yes. So typically they have an Adidas set. It's got school insignias on the collar, on the collarbone, and on the shoulder. But they keep it simple: brown on white at home, all white on the road. So they will be the home team. So I absolutely anticipate seeing those brown lids, brown jersey, white pants, just as Joliet Catholic has for as long as I can remember.
All right. Am I up? It's my pick first.
I think you're up. Yep.
Mitch, I got to go with everything we just talked about. I got to go with Joliet Catholic. The Victory Light Tower on the helmet and the way that they utilize, like you said, there's a very subtle like school crest on the chest of the uniform, but then they also have that logo on the shoulder pads. And it's just such a simple, classic look that and maybe it's because they've won a lot. So we've seen them win in that jersey, in that color scheme, but it separates itself a little bit from Sacred Heart Griffin in the fact that I really appreciate the iconography, the logo that they use.
Yeah, I'm with you here. I'm a sucker for the color scheme. Mount Carmel in Chicago does similar. They incorporate more gold, so they're more like a Wyoming type of color scheme. But even speaking of Wyoming, I love teams that use colors that aren't traditionally used. So this is a classic look, hard to beat, and I'm going here too with Joliet Catholic.
Yep, absolutely. So, Mitch, we're moving into 5A. 5A. This one. Oh, I can already see. I can already tell you're excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I got to adjust my seat here. Yeah.
Oak Park Fenwick, the Friars, going up against the Kankakee K's. So, Mitch, we'll start with Fenwick. This is a good one. This is a good UniView matchup.
Yes. So Oak Park Fenwick, they are black, white, and silver. It's a Jordan set, Nike set, but primarily
is that the
Jordan.
first Jordan set we've seen?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it is. I don't think it's the last. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
I don't think. No, it's not. That's a tease. It's not.
Okay.
But it's pretty simple. I have seen two separate helmets, and we were trying to determine if they still use them or if they're old. But either way, they're both black helmets. The one which I think that they use is like a matte black, and it has Friars in script on the side.
Yep.
The other one was a black helmet with a school crest that like took up the entire side of the helmet. So
I don't think I saw that one. That's
yeah. So I don't think that they use that anymore, but I could be wrong. I do like the Friars one. It's a nice clean look.
Yep.
They go black jersey at home. They can go all black. They can wear white. They have silver pants too. Fenwick is written across the chest. Obviously the Jumpman, and they will be the home team. So I assume that they will be probably black on black. I think because that seems to be what they've worn most in the past, and it's a nice, very nice, clean look.
Mitch. Now we're getting into the Kankakee K's.
Yeah,
I got to be honest. Before this started, I was very unfamiliar. I would not have been able to tell you anything about Kankakee's uniforms.
no,
But man, it's great. It is a great look. I feel like I'm already giving myself away here. But Fenwick is great as well. That's what I love about this matchup. But tell me about Kankakee.
yeah, you could fill up like all little like boxes on the screen of screenshots of Kankakee because it's probably the coolest, most diverse uniform set color scheme that I've seen. Honestly, it's black, it's aqua blue, and fuchsia. And if you're listening, if you're watching, you can see it. It is sweet. But not only the color scheme, they really do a great job. The whole set is Under Armour. Greg, I really, really like the helmet. The details that go into the helmet set it apart. It's a black helmet with it's a Native American headdress. You would recognize it if you saw it, which is white, but it also has maroon and aqua trim around it. So the amount of detail that goes into that helmet is just superb. So whoever's in charge of that, whoever's idea that was, because even we looked it up in previous iterations of the helmet when it was more of a blue helmet, it was the same thing, just the colors were all swapped. So yeah, they really do a nice job here. They go all black at home, which unfortunately they're the away team because that all black look, which I hope is on the screen, is so cool. It is so cool. But not to take anything away from their aways, they'll go white on black. They incorporate the fuchsia and the aqua throughout the jersey. Even the K's logo, just the K with the feathers, that's a nice logo, nice cool logo. Kankakee written across the chest. So while I wish this was a home game for them just to show off that uniform, they'll look great because they really do a nice job.
Well, Mitch, you're up first in Class 5A. So
yeah,
where are you going?
The K's. I mean, it's unfortunate for Fenwick because I really do like that match. I really do like
I
that
agree.
set. And if they were playing anybody else, I would pick them. But this Kankakee is just so unique. It's so cool. And they're very, very good. So yeah, I really like this uniform here. Looking forward to seeing that on Saturday morning.
Yep, they'll be Saturday morning. Mitch, I'm right with you. I'm going Kankakee. Yep. Since we discovered their uniforms a few weeks ago, I love it. I think it lays out perfect. It's got a unique helmet design with a ton of detail in it. I love their school logo on the chest, and it says Kankakee in small letters across the chest. They're not trying to do too much there.
Yeah.
And the numbers pop on either jersey, on the black or the white.
Yep.
Do they have an all white option? I wish they did because that'd be awesome, but I don't think I've seen it.
I haven't. Yeah, I didn't see it. So I don't want to say that they don't. I would imagine that they put that much, effort into these uniforms that they probably have an alternate somewhere. I showed you the picture from years ago. They had an all aqua look, which was, I'm glad they went away from it, but unique still.
Yeah.
So yeah, hard to say if they do or not. But boy, that I'm just, looking at the pictures on my tablet. Listeners and viewers are seeing it on screen. It's just so cool. I love it.
And the unfortunate part is, man, Fenwick would win several, maybe 4 or 5 of these uniform matchups.
Yeah.
Fenwick would win a lot of them. They just ran up against a really good Kankakee uniform. So I gotta go. I gotta go Kankakee on this one.
Yep.
I wish they were wearing the all blacks in their state championship game, but that will go to Fenwick, and Fenwick will look really good doing it. But that's a great uniform matchup. Mitch, another great uniform matchup with kind of different styles, clashing styles in Class 6A. Cary Grove versus East St. Louis. Mitch, let's start with the Cary Grove Trojans.
Yeah, pretty simple. Again, when we're talking about Sacred Heart Griffin and Joliet Catholic, they keep it very simple. And the only way that needs to be described to this is they are Penn State uniforms. They are navy and white. Only difference between really the two is they do wear pride stickers at Cary Grove. And I think like Penn State has a thing about wearing black shoes, which, discussion for a different day. But for the most part, Cary Grove, looks exactly like that. They go navy on white. They will be the home team. So I would imagine that is what their look will be. So not much to really pick at because it's a nice uniform, looks great. And they're a really good team. So it fits perfect.
Yeah, a really solid look. And it's it. Yeah, that's Penn State. That's what they, that's what they do there in Cary Grove. So on the flip side, East St. Louis, they might be a little bit of the like Florida Gators throwback type uniform for the East St. Louis Flyers.
I had that in my head that it's more of like a retro Florida look. So blue, orange, and white color scheme. What they wear now, and again, this is kind of what I was talking about with Fenwick. I've seen 2 different helmets, and I'm not quite sure if they have 2 or if one's outdated. But the 2 that I've seen are a blue helmet, an orange F logo inside of a white oval, which is what I think they do wear now. But I've also seen another one, which is cool. It's a blue helmet with the Flyers like cursive script on it.
I've seen that. Yeah, I have seen that.
I like that. I like that helmet a lot. I just don't know if they use it anymore. But either way, Nike set, this is a traditionally really good program. So they've got the uniforms to match. They go blue on blue at home or blue and white at home. In the semifinal game, they went white on white. I imagine that's what they'll probably do. Very consistent with their striping, Greg. We like that. It's nice, thick, easy to see. As we said, consistent. So, I would imagine that they'll be white on white just based on what they've been wearing in the playoffs. And so this is who's up in this? Is this you or me? Because this is a tough one that I don't know that I've decided yet.
Yeah, I think I'm up first. And
did you? I don't know. I don't remember who took Kankakee first, but
let's see.
You did. I'll go. I think you did. I'll go.
Go for it.
I'm gonna go East St. Louis here.
But you're gritting your teeth. Well,
it's close. Just because Cary Grove just is clean and simple, and that's hard to beat. As we talked about with Joliet Catholic. I think the way that maybe East St. Louis plays factors into that. Like they're just a really fast team. You think of like the Cary Grove or the Penn State uniforms as being more like a physical power team, and then Florida being fast, spread out, wide open. So I think I like East St. Louis here. Close, very, very close over Cary Grove.
I'm giving the nod to Cary Grove. It's very close, but just the pictures I've seen, and I texted you immediately, and I said Cary Grove is Penn State. That's what it is, and the pictures just pop. It looks so clean, so crisp, and it's simple. And maybe that's not exciting for some people, but I think just looking at the photos and kind of looking at being that's their traditional look now. I like it. I like it a lot. And they'll be the home team, so they'll be wearing the blue, and it just it all works together really well. So
Yep.
I'm going Cary Grove in that one. So Mitch, we disagree on Class 6A. Let's
I want
move
to say
in.
I want to say we're probably 3-3 as we've gone through 6 classes. I want to say we're 3-3 on what we agreed on and what we disagreed on.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and recap at the end, but
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's going back and forth. Class 7A, Wheaton North, the Falcons against St. Rita Mustangs. Let's start with the Wheaton North Falcons.
Yeah. Blue, yellow, and white color scheme. White helmet with a blue Falcon logo, the Falcon logo that you would recognize from the Atlanta Falcons helmets. But again, it's white with a blue Falcon. Two thick strips going down the back, blue strips with yellow trim. They do have pride stickers to fill that out a little bit. They're lightning bolts or something. They're something real subtle, but they do wear them. They can go blue on white at home, which I've seen. I think that's what they wore in the semifinal. They do have blue pants too. That's a nice look because they've got yellow stripes on the shoulders, and on the blue pants, it's the same on the pants. So that blue on blue is a nice look. Curious to know if they will wear that. I wish I did because that might affect my pick. But they will be the home team regardless, and they'll be wearing blue.
Mitch, let's go through the St. Rita Mustangs.
Yeah. This is a look I don't think that they've changed in a long time either. So navy red and white here. White helmet with an interlocking S, not really interlocking, I guess, as so much that they're side by side, S and R. It's an Under Armour set. They've kind of changed, their helmets stay the same, but they've kind of changed looks with different uniforms. They've had navy jerseys, they've had red jerseys. This one being the away team, I imagine they'll be all white. I think that's what they do for the most part. They do have red pants. If they go all white, they have cool piping on the pants with navy and red. So it is a nice look there for St. Rita. And again, they'll be the away, so I imagine that they'll be white on white. If it's a white on white St. Rita against a blue on blue Wheaton North, that's going to look really nice on the field.
So it's my pick first in this one.
Yes.
It's my pick first. This was one I debated. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of these coming in, and this was one I did not know. But I'm kind of going to surprise myself, and for the second time, I'm going with the red, white, and blue, or red, white, and navy look. I'm going with St. Rita.
I didn't think you were going there.
I know. Like I said, I kind of surprised myself, and I think what pushed me over the top was I like that the SR logo is their own. It's unique to them. It's not something you see everywhere. And I think that at the end of the day, when you look at Wheaton North, it's a nice Under Armour set, but nothing like grabs my attention as like really unique. Nothing really spoke to me on their uniform or stood out to me. So that's what kind of led me to St. Rita. I'm going Mustangs on this one.
Yeah, I think I am too. If Wheaton North wears all blue, I'll maybe be second guessing myself. And I think that they might, but even still, I'm looking at the St. Rita picture right now. It's a very, very clean look. I like it a lot. So yeah, I'm with you here with St. Rita with that all white look.
And I don't think we've seen like St. Rita's shoulder striping. I don't think we've seen anything like that with the other uniforms we've talked about today. That's a fairly unique look to them. And I think normally I don't know that I'd go for that type of like really thick striping the way it is located there, but I think it looks good on their jersey.
Yeah, if I had to kind of pick at it a little bit, it looks to me, one, if the number outline was a little bit thicker, because it's a really thin navy outline on the number.
Yeah.
And then I think the St. Rita inverts the numbers. I think it's blue lettering with red trim, which
it is.
That's what they're doing. So
yeah,
if I had to nitpick a little bit, but again, I like this overall, and it's a solid look.
But Mitch, I like that. I like when they flip the colors on the font and the number.
Okay.
I think that makes each one stand out individually.
Well, yeah, you've got 4 sets of striping here, and 3 of them match. That's pretty good with the helmet, the shoulders, and the numbers being red with blue outline. So yeah, it's a nice look. It's not as debatable, I guess, as the other classes have been. But if Wheaton North wears all blue, I do like that. So we'll have to wait and see on Saturday.
I can't wait for you to text me and be like, I regret everything. I picked the
Yeah. Emergency pod. We need to redo it.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Class 8A, the Lockport Porters versus the Park Ridge Maine South Hawks. Let's start with the Lockport Porters, Mitch.
Okay. Again, another team that kind of keeps it pretty simple, right? Maroon and white. I've seen 2 helmets. Again, there's been multiple teams we've talked about that I've seen 2 helmets on. The one, which I don't like, is a maroon helmet with the LCHS, which I imagine is Lockport Community High School. Yep. And it's like interlocking and it's in a circle and they're big letters. It's weird.
It's very kind of old fashioned, logo font. Yeah.
But I think the one that they wear is maroon, and it's got, again, I think we talked about this in the other podcast. I have no idea what a porter is, but there's some sort of nautical theme here, because it looks like almost like either a ship deck with a light on it or like a lighthouse. I don't know. But if you remember, for listeners who listened to us back in the beginning, or if you've seen what Dupex's helmets look like, they do the same thing in that there's a chain link going from the nose, from the bumper, all the way to the back, where there's a big anchor. So again, while I don't know what a porter is, it's a cool logo. I always like that, the chain link and the anchor. So that's a cool helmet. Adidas set, pretty simple, maroon on white at home. It just says Porters across the chest with the Adidas logo right on the neck, I think. I'm glad that they're the home team, because I don't like their away jerseys, because their away jerseys have more like maroon piping going around, and it kind of reminds me of like Byron, like it's an outdated kind of uniform a little bit, just with that style. A lot busier than the home jersey. So I don't know. I know they have maroon pants, so I don't know if they go maroon on maroon at home. So that'll be something to watch for, because I think that would look nice. So, but again, they keep it pretty simple here.
All right, Mitch, let's jump into the Maine South Hawks.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Not in a bad way, but there's just a lot going on, right? So red, black, and white, which we've seen with so many teams that we cover. It's not unique to Maine South. It's nothing like a Kankakee uniform. I do like the helmet. The helmet is a red helmet with, I guess you would say it's a big block M on the side, which is white, with a red hawk head kind of over top of it. Kind of reminds me of what Miami, Ohio looks like, but only if you merged them in a weird way. So it's not bad. 2 white stripes going down the middle, pride stickers all over. It is a Nike set. Kind of weird shoulder stripings, kind of weird coverings over here. On the all white jersey that they wore in the semifinal, which I imagine that they'll probably wear here too, they have 1 black stripe and 1 red stripe, which again, I don't know. It doesn't really match well with that uniform, just the way that the shoulders are. It's not as slick or, whatever you want to call it. It's like it's 2 separate styles trying to clash together, even though the colors are the same. They can wear black pants. I don't know what they look like, but I think white on white is the primary here. Now, if they're home, this is where we're talking about Fenwick. This is another team that does have a Jordan brand set. It's a black jersey that just says Hawks in red with a white Jumpman logo. But again, they will probably not be wearing that, being as the away team, but they do have that as an option. So, yeah, it's fine, but that's how I would describe it. It's fine.
Yep. All right. So in Class 8A, who leads us off here? Is it? I believe it's you.
I think so. So yeah, for all the aforementioned things that I have kind of against Maine South, I'm going Lockport here. I'm keeping it simple. I think if they go maroon on white, that's a nice look, but it's just cleaner than what Maine South is going to bring to the table, I think. So going Lockport here with the upset. Now, because I don't know if it was an upset necessarily, but I guess it was because Loyola was the top ranked team. Had Loyola been in this matchup, I'm a sucker for maroon and gold. They would have been far and away, no question. Don't care who they're playing. That would have been my pick, but they're not. So I'll keep it simple though. Still,
Yeah, Loyola would have ran away with it for you. I could already have sensed that.
Yeah.
But here we are, Lockport in Maine South.
Yep.
Mitch, you kind of called it out right at the beginning. Maine South is just too busy for me. It's just the helmet literally has two logos on top of each other. They have so many helmet stickers that are different colors. And and then the jersey itself has a lot going on.
If those shoulders weren't there, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
If it just wasn't there, and it just
So, but on the positive, looking on the positive side of things for Lockport, I like the unique helmet. It's certainly, we've seen the anchor and the chain design on several teams, but I think that they add their own personal touch to it.
It's definitely a boat. It looks like it's riding in a wave. I don't
almost like a straight ahead shot of a boat.
Yeah,
you're catching like the whole up top look. But I think apparently it's a porter, Mitch, and we need to learn what that is. But
sure.
A unique helmet, a unique logo on a helmet. I'm in for that. So I'll go with Lockport.
Okay.
So Mitch, let's quickly recap where we ended up here. If I can remember correctly, you went with Carrollton in Class 1A.
Yep.
I went with Lena Winslow.
Okay, I'm keeping track here.
Yep. In 2A, I think we both went Nashville over Wilmington.
Yep.
In Class 3A, we were split. I went to Lono Unity. You went Byron.
Yep.
In 4A, we both went Joliet Catholic over Sacred Heart Griffin.
Yep.
In 5A, I believe we both went Kankakee in maybe the hottest debated matchup of the weekend.
Yep.
Kankakee over Oak Park Fenwick. We split on Cary Grove and East St. Louis. Mitch, you went with the retro Florida Gators look. I went with the classic Penn State look in Cary Grove. So that's where we ended up in 6A. In 7A, we both went St. Rita.
Yep.
And in 8A, we both went Lockport.
So I was right when we got through 6A that we were split. And then in 7 and 8, we agreed. So on 5 of these, we agree. 3, we don't. So that's not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So Mitch, you got a few notes down here at the bottom. Yeah. Favorite uniform and favorite uniform matchup. I think we'll start with the matchup. We already kind of referenced it.
I think we almost need to just say what those are and then maybe go to our second favorite, because I think it's pretty clear what our favorite uniform is and what our favorite matchup is. So maybe we go to what our second favorites are.
That's a fair point. Yes.
Throw it up on the screen again. It's Kankakee. It's so cool. Again, I wish it would be, a cherry on top of the sundae if they were wearing their black uniforms. But even their aways are super cool. So unique to the state. Never seen anything like it with that color scheme. So it's Kankakee for me.
Yep, I'm also with Kankakee, and my favorite matchup was Kankakee and Fenwick.
Yeah, so we agree. Yeah, so we agree there. So maybe what would be your second favorite? And you got to exclude Fenwick in that too.
Yeah.
So outside of 5A, what's your favorite uniform and what's your favorite matchup?
I'm going my favorite uniform outside of. Oh man, let's see. I'm torn between two.
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead. Take the lead here because I'm torn.
Because I'm going to stay in the same game, and that's in 4A. My second favorite uniform is Joliet Catholic. My second favorite matchup is Joliet Catholic Sacred Heart.
Okay, I also almost chose that one.
Okay,
but I was torn between Joliet Catholic and Cary Grove. I think I'll do the same as you. I'll go Cary Grove, and I'll go my matchup is Cary Grove versus East St. Louis. Yeah. Because I think it's just a cool, both good looks, but kind of a different style. the
Mhm.
East St. Louis look with the trim and the piping that all matches, but then Cary Grove with the very simple look with no trim, no piping anywhere outside of the stripe on the helmet. I think it's a little bit of a contrast, but also just two good looks.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean, across the board, really, I mean, other than what we didn't like about Maine South, and again, it's not terrible, it's just a little too much. This is a pretty solid 16, 16 teams. We originally talked about maybe ranking them 1 through 16, and I think that might have been tough.
Yeah.
Both just in terms of doing it, and both in terms of agreeing on it, because these are 16 really solid options. So it'll be a fun aesthetic weekend for us, I think.
Mitch, we could literally go another hour or 2 hours if we wanted to now start talking about what we would do to upgrade these uniforms.
Yeah, I would. If I was good at at Photoshop or something, I would love to update Lena just to modernize it. Just to modernize it, not change much, just to modernize it a little bit. Same thing with Byron. Wouldn't change too much, just modernize it a little bit. So yeah, I could pick some of these things apart a little bit, what I would like to see differently, but really, again, for the most part, pretty good lineup of uniforms here.
Yep, absolutely. Man, Lena's a team I should have maybe considered in there with Cary Grove. They might be my second favorite look.
Yeah.
When I think about it and look at it again. But anyway, we could debate all night. We could talk uniforms all night. And so everyone who's been listening, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like uniform talk as much as we do. Check them out on the field in DeKalb on Friday and Saturday. I'll be there Friday morning for the Class 1A state championship game. And then I'll be, with family watching the rest of the games on Friday night and Saturday afternoon. And Mitch, you'll be watching, I'm assuming, most of the weekend as well, recovering from Thanksgiving and whatever comes with it. So,
yep. Yeah, so, no question. So hopefully everyone checks their local listings to find the game, or if you're out of market like me, they'll all be on NFHS. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoys the final week of the season. It's been fun.
That's right. The season is wrapping up, but we're not going anywhere necessarily. We'll keep episodes going throughout the off season. We got some fun ideas, some involving some uniforms and some some jersey and uniform talk, maybe some helmet talk. Yeah. But we'll also dive into some other fun projects as well. We'll stay active on Twitter and keep the conversation going. We'll be back next week, hopefully talking about a state championship win for Lena Winslow and seeing what uniforms actually materialized on the field in DeKalb.
Yeah, we'll have to see how our picks stacked up in real life situations. So I'm trying to think now back to our picks. I don't know how well we'll do. But again, I don't know much about some of these teams, so I really don't. Yep. And so that's why we can only go off their uniforms. So we'll compare that next week.
All right. Well, everyone who listened, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week.
See ya.